Alright, I'm going to take a video of this for you just to kind of show you how some things operate. You'll see on this side it has a large power awning. It has new fabric up there. We put that on when I came in, but you want to be sure that when you're opening it there's no obstructions. Also, you want to be sure that you don't open it in any windy conditions or leave it up in any windy conditions. They say just 5 to 10 miles an hour tops. As we walk around over here, this is a outlet for cable TV if you're at a park that has that. Electrical receptacles here. This is your freshwater fill up, so this would go into your freshwater holding tank if you're going to use that option. I'm not sure if you have a well at your place or not. This is your furnace here. Hot air comes out of here. This is your furnace exhaust, and then fresh air comes into the top. So if you ever have a problem with your furnace lighting, make sure there's no obstructions here. Mud dauber nests or leaves stuck in there that'll obstruct that. Outdoor speakers up top. Might be a little loud over here when we get by the radio. Dump station below here. Your black water is your sewage, which is your bigger line. The gray water is your smaller line. Rule of thumb, you pull the black water first and then the gray water will go down and help clean out your tube. Outdoor shower here. If you do have a well, this is where you hook your hose to. This black tank flush, if you hook a hose up to here, it'll help blow out your black tank when you're draining it. Don't hook a hose up if this isn't being drained, or you could blow out your tank. 30 amp electrical service over here. Water heater here. This is the plug on the bottom, so if you go to winterize it next year, you'll have to make sure you pull this plug. When you go to summerize it this year, there's a plug on the bottom for your holding tank, and that's what this goes in. Right now it's currently winterized. They may have another plug in there for you already by the time you pick it up. This is a 30 amp receptacle, so you'll need to let me know. If you're having 30 amp power, I'll get you a 30 amp cord, but if you're having 15 amp power, just like a regular extension cord, then I'll give you one of these adapters to use. So let me know which way you'll have. There's another gray water discharge tank there. That's probably for the front sink. The back one is probably for the bathroom sink and shower. This is your cable satellite inlet, if you're going to use that. Two 30-pound propane tanks on here. I'm not sure what their levels are. Just turn them to the on positions when you want to use them. Power tongue jack here. Raise and lower it. And then there's a little LED light you can see come on there. 12-volt battery. This camper doesn't require one. But if you are going to go somewhere that doesn't have power, here's a battery. This is a quick battery shut off. So if you want to shut the battery off, just unscrew that a couple turns and it kills the power to it. When you want to use the battery, just tighten that back up. Also, when you're plugged into electrical service, which we are now, that charges the battery as long as this is connected. We'll head on inside. Alright, first things first, we'll roll up the awning. Over here, just hit awning in. And you can see it rolling itself up. Okay. We'll come over to the sink. You see there's pink in here. That's actually RV antifreeze because it's been winterized already. If I do want to run the water off the water pump, I just hit the water pump button and then turn it on. You'll see pink is coming out of there because the system's winterized. If you're hooked up to a hose, you don't need to use the water pump because your well pressure is what pumps it out. When you want to use a stove, just put it to light. You have to use a barbecue grill style lighter because the little sparker here doesn't work. And it works great. Right above here is a light and then a fan above that. The fan vents to the outdoors. It's a little dark in here because we're inside the building. Refrigerator gets nice and cold. Freezer is freezing. Microwave oven, I'm sure you probably know how to use that. Thermostat here. Turn it to heat and then turn your temperature to your desired area. For about a minute, it's going to blow just air, not hot air. After that, it has an automatic lighter, and then you'll feel it start blowing hot air out of there. Look, actually, it sounds like it kicked on already, so it must be a little quicker than a minute. Shower here. Little lever on there for traveling. The toilet is a foot flush. So flush it right on the side there. 1 second flush for liquids. Hold it down for a few seconds for solids. Again, sink. Fire extinguishers by the doors. Here's your slide out control for the back room, as well as your light switch. And then you have another light switch above the bed. When I want to bring the slide out in, I just hit in. But first you want to make sure there's no obstructions. For example, if that door was left open, the slide out will break that door. It's very powerful. So always make sure that when you're pushing the slide outs out, always make sure it's clear as well. And we'll just hold the in button. You'll see how close it gets to that, which is why you gotta have the doors shut. Over here is your fuses and breakers. 110 volt breakers, and then the fuses are for your, there we go, for your 12 volt. Most of these lights have switches on them, but a couple of the main lights can be turned on right with the switch when you walk in. One is interior and one is exterior. That heat is blowing nice and hot now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it to air conditioning. Once I turn it off, it's also going to blow for about 30 seconds or so. I'll let that happen before I switch it over to air conditioning. Stereo here, power it up, just hit the power button. We won't get any reception in the building here, but you can hear it. Owner's manuals, they don't get used too much these days. Everybody just goes on YouTube, but they're there. Looks like a remote behind there. That must have been for an old TV or something. Not sure. And then probably a remote for a radio there too somewhere. Not really much to show back here. Wardrobe hanging spot there. You can see the air conditioning is ducted in the ceiling. So if you want more air to blow towards the kids' room or to the back room, then you close these vents here. If you leave the vents open, the cold air will come through here. When we want to turn on the air conditioning, just turn it to cool. Set your desired temperature. You'll hear it kick on. It's going to blow air for about 10-15 seconds. And then you might see the lights dim when it goes over into kicking on the condenser. At that point, you're all good. These things do a pretty good job of cooling. Unless it gets to be more than a 20-degree difference. So the rule of thumb is if it's 90 degrees outside, it should be able to cool it to 70 in here. This camper is a little bigger, so that might be more like a 15-degree difference, but that should really be about it. I'll put this slide out in here. Again, when putting the slide outs in, check to make sure these doors here, not any open positions. And then we just come over here and hit the slide out in button. You'll see it kind of climb up out of its little pocket it sits in. You want to make sure the camper is level when you operate the slide outs. Also, if it's been outside, you got to clear any debris off of the top of the slide out before bringing it in. Very important. And you never want to bring them in if they're frozen or below freezing temperatures. Same holds true for the awning. Don't extend it if it's cold outside. Roughly, I'd say 40 degrees. Because even though it might be above freezing outside, there could still be ice sitting on the inside of it. That should be it. Good luck with your new camper, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime.